how to design your gamification project workshop. Okay, I am Vasilis. This is Sabrina. We have done this before in the past. We have delivered this workshop. It was quite cool. We had good times. I think people like it quite a lot. The purpose of this is to give you a very basic understanding of the process of how you should design gamification. It's not necessarily what you need to do, but it's to give you a sense of what we do. Okay, we designed this based on what we do usually when we come up with ideas, try to design a project, and we think it's a nice 1 hour and a half session, and you get the basics down of what you need to think about. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, usually we do a 3-hour workshop. So today we're gonna have a speedy process. You guys need to think a lot, do a lot, be much quicker than anyone else has been before. So, but I believe in you guys.
Yay, we do. It's after lunch, but you'll try. Okay, so I'm not gonna do introductions. You're gonna talk about yourself?
Yeah, I can talk about myself quickly.
Just
well, I'm Sabrina Bruehwiler, and I'm a gamification consultant and designer for the Octalysis group, which you have been seeing a talk of yours spared out just now. So, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. Yay. I think I'm not going to go into detail because tomorrow you're also going to see a speech of mine.
Yeah, there's a quite interesting talk from Sabrina tomorrow. Yeah, I'm Vasilis. I organize the conference with Pete. I work for Pete, Gamification Plus. Hey, you know, most of you know who I am. So this is our song. Anyone knows what that is? Shout out. Zelda. Well done. And there is a matching outfit.
It was really, really easy for you guys to find that out, right?
Okay. So, brief overview, very small intro to gamification. I think most of you are familiar with what it is, but for those of you that are not, very brief intro to gamification. What is the problem you're going to solve? So you're going to work in teams, in your tables, okay, trying to solve a problem that you will decide. Then we talk about brainstorming. So what are the sort of things we have to think before we actually start designing? Then prototyping, which is a lot of fun. Yay. And at the end, basically what you're going to do is try to talk about it. One table joins the other table. Hey, what was your problem? How did you solve it? You know, talk about your projects. Okay? Let's jump straight into it.
So basically, what is gamification, right? Maybe some of you, for that is like a really basic thing, but just that everyone is at the same level. So basically gamification is if you're using game elements and you put them into non-game or also boring context, like for example, work.
Working out, maybe?
Well, some people's work is not very engaging, so.
The only gym I ever went to was the one that had movies. You could watch movies while working out, because I'm very bored. Examples of gamification.
Yeah, so some examples are, for example, your Nike Plus Fuel Bands, your Fitbits, things like that. Who has a Fitbit or a Nike Fuel Band?
Yay, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
It gets less and less as more as I ask this question. It's horrible. Then you have your Air Miles, for example, very old like example. Some people might know the piano staircase. Yeah? Anyone else knows about it? So basically it's a stairs which has different keys on the stairs, and if you walk up and down it does different tunes, and so it motivates people to actually walk the stairs instead of going the normal way with the escalator. Yeah. And one other example is the depression quest. Which is something that probably not a lot of people know about, but it's a lot about getting something that is non-game related, so depression, and making it something that people want to learn about and get to know about. And that's also what we're going to do here today. We're looking at a problem and look how we can use gamification to find a solution for it.
Yes, exactly. So the first exercise that you're going to do in teams, do you all have paper and pens and stuff? I got some if you don't. So who has a pen? Let's start with that. You have a pen. Okay. Can you grab the
Yeah,
box?
I can grab a box, but you basically need like the best is if you use one paper per team and then you brainstorm in the team. So
I'll explain this. So while Sabrina is getting you some pens, what we're gonna do in teams in the tables, you're gonna talk about the problem. Think about something common. So if you all live in Brighton, I don't know, something like traffic or recycling, you know, or I don't know, a problem that you all know something about, education. Education is not a problem. And how would you improve it? Okay, so the only thing we need you to do is in your table, so this is the exercise, decide on a problem you're going to solve with gamification. Only the problem. I don't want you to think about the solution. Okay, a lot of people go into solutions and they brainstorm, oh, I want to improve education. I will use this mobile app and this game. No, just pick a problem you're all interested in. Okay, that is the exercise. Very simple. 5 minutes for that. Go, and we're going to give you pens and stuff.
Waiting behind somebody who's really slow in a supermarket, pushing a trolley and not,
has no motivation to choose the right bin and that sort of thing. Everything goes into the garbage bag that's in the house.
Everyone has a problem, right? Every team.
was-
More than one, usually, yeah.
I was never so glad to see so many people with problems.
Yeah. It's the first time I'm happy. Hey, we all got a problem. Okay. So, stage number 1 is done. In gamification, like it was said in some of the presentations, it's not about having fun, but solving problems, real world problems, okay? Most of the things you chose are actually things we would all like to solve. And I would be very happy if gamification can help us move forward and solve some of these issues. Okay, so we start with the problem in gamification. You never start, hey, I got this great idea about pirates. You know, you start with a problem. The sales team is not performing well. So how do I solve it? That's number 1.
And one other thing which I want to just add, which I discussed with this group, is as well, you don't think technology first. You think problem first. You think objectives first. You think users. You think about these things as well. Like if we go to the next topic, you will see that it's not just about like how you do it. It's about the why you do it and for whom you're doing it.
Yeah, so stage number 2 is brainstorming. So you got your problem. Now you need to think about some things, some elements of your gamification project. So number 1, for example, is technology. You know, you need to know what are you designing for. Is it a mobile game? Is it a website? Are people going to play on a desktop? Is it a board game? I don't know. Maybe it's not digital at all. Maybe it's something you play in a room. Maybe, I don't know. What are you going to use? What are the tools, basically, that you're going to use to engage people? Then you got the theme. Theme, some people struggle to understand what it is. It's very simple. It's Star Wars. Star Wars, the title says it all. It's a war in space. It sounds simple, but it's very effective. So if your game has a theme that links to the problem, then you can think about it in a lot of different ways. And visually, just visually, our brains, you know, work much better when we have a theme around the problem. Do you want to do the users? Or?
Yeah, and just to add to the theme, so narrative as well can be part of that theme, right? A story. And then we go to user groups as well, and users obviously define on what technology you're using, what theme you're gonna add in your project, how you're gonna do the desired actions, and how you want the user to go through the experience. And another one is metrics. So you want to have tangible results in the end. You want to look at something that you can put out there, like Joris was showing some KPIs. You want to have some success metrics. And success is something different all the time. Then you want to look at desired actions. You want to know, okay, which steps does the person who is using my solution take to get to the goal, to get to the end problem solving, to the end objective, to the end goal.
Yeah, so users, just to recap really quickly and give you the exercise, what tools, what technology are you going to use? What is the theme of your problem? Who are the users and what do they want? What do you need them to do to solve the problem? Okay? And how are you measuring this? How are you making sure they are actually doing it? You know, how do you have some results that you measured? And so these two link to each other, right? The desired actions link to the metrics. The metrics should be about the desired actions, that you make sure what you want them to do is actually happening.
And
okay?
Yeah, and if you know tools like the Octalysis framework, you can relate to that as well. So this is basically the same thing. When you have the user group, you go into the desired actions, and then you have the metrics in the end. So for all of the guys who know the framework, they can use that for brainstorming as well.
So the exercise here is just, you got your problem. Where's the exercise? No. Okay. The exercise here is for you to draw these lines around your problem and write down what are these things? What do you think is the right choice for your problem? How will you engage your users, the people that you want to engage? Okay? So come up with some ideas about everything. You got 20 minutes. Start.
You'll have existing customers of the brand. You'll have prospects.
Threw rubbish into the bin, and then the bin had a speaker in it.
Each one of those is going to require a different element of solution.
Calculations, because this is theoretical.
Communication and involving every single person in the group to sort of get it out.
Doesn't care about anything, still goes to the supermarket.
You could say, well, instead of buying 100% of bottled water, we're having 80% tap water and 20% of bottled water.
We move on to something more practical. Okay, you talked about it, you talked about the problem. You got a lot of ideas. What we need to do now is visualize. I don't like thinking in 2D. Okay, I think people should be thinking in 3D. So we are going to the phase of prototyping. Okay? What we want you to do here basically is visualize your solution. What is it? You talked about it quite a lot already, and we want you in your tables to build something to explain to us what it is and how it will work. Okay. So you all have some idea on the table, some rough idea, but you got something. Okay, and that's the point of prototyping. It doesn't need to be perfect. The point is, test my idea out. Does it work? How does it feel? Do I like it or not? Okay. The second thing after prototyping is playtesting. What that means is I get people from outside the team to test my game. Okay, to test my idea, see how it feels. Does it solve the problem, or do I need to change something?
The problem is that, especially on London Underground trains, every time the door opens, there's lots of passengers that need to get off before the other people get on, okay? And it almost never happens. And what we're trying to do is make a behaviour change for people to wait for the people to get off the train. And so that's the idea.
Yeah, so we can read people that it's coming on and out, yes? And besides the laser, will not make sound. The sound, since it's themed as Indiana Jones, the theme of Indiana Jones will be heard. Dun, 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 dun. And the Indiana Jones theme will go faster. Dun, 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 dun. And the people that is coming out will have a reward in the app. And then you have a discount for the people that is coming in. And the next ride will get a discount.
Community to keep the rubbish correctly thrown in the right place. Because your impact negatively
I feel like as the creators of this solution, I feel like it makes you guys look good rather than the money lender, because you're the ones that are providing that human face and giving the right advice. I'm not sure how that makes the actual lender themselves, how it improves their image, if that makes sense, because it's your solution that's doing the work, not the lender.
So there's good news stories all the way down this journey to the end, we would say.
So that was our workshop. Unfortunately, we don't have more time. We wish we did have more time. So just to, summarize what you've done is go through some stages. First, you pick a problem. Then you talk about some details like technology, metrics. And then you build something. You make a simple version. It doesn't have to be complicated, something very simple. And then you talk about it, basically. Talk about it with other people. See if it makes sense or not. And go back and make changes. Okay? That's the whole point. It's just one example of one process we use. Someone else may say, hey, I don't want to do it like this. It's fine. We just wanted to give you a basic framework to work with. That is all. Have we run out of time? I think we did.